once more, old friend.
Well then, here we go again. Let's talk about Vindication Season 2. So in the final season of the show, I reviewed the pilot for Vindication, a crime drama thriller series by Fly Rock Media. Well, I just finished watching the second season of the show, and I've got some thoughts I want to share about whether it's worth watching. In case you missed my review of the pilot, here's the short and sweet conclusion from the review. But yeah, Vindication has solid performances, solid production values, a solid story. It's definitely worth watching. I was pretty excited going into the rest of the first season when it came out. And on the whole, it did not disappoint. Sure, there may have been a quibble here or there with some minor acting or a story element or two. For instance, the fact that the couple in episode 6 didn't have a lawyer still baffles me, and their attitudes really annoyed me, but that was probably intentional. But again, overall, the first series was really good, and as new characters were introduced and developed over the course of the show, it was really engaging and drew you in, and it had some great moments of suspense and action, and good heartfelt drama, and even some humor to lighten the mood when needed. The first season did feel a bit like an anthology show in the beginning, with very little connecting elements apart from featuring the adventures of Detective Gary Travis. But once we're introduced to Gary's daughter and his trainee Chris, it becomes more like a typical show with overarching storylines connecting the case of the week scenarios. So with as much as I enjoyed Season 1, I went into Season 2 with pretty high expectations. I was really looking forward to seeing what kind of stories they had to tell this time around. And let me tell you, they have a lot of them. Now, you know I like to keep my reviews as spoiler-free as possible, so I'll be sure to guard my words as much as I can. All 10 episodes are packed with subplots like Gary and Chris's dealings with their different precincts, family drama, church drama, relationship drama, on top of the case of the week. At times, I almost felt like I needed to have a spreadsheet open to keep track of everything, but they're all really well balanced in each episode. I always felt like each scene was always doing something to move a story forward, even if it was just a small step. I really can't think of any times where I felt like, okay, this is dragging or redundant or anything like that. However, there were some character developments that did feel a little out of nowhere to me. Let's see, avoiding spoilers. There's a romance subplot that has a surprising twist early on, which was fine, but I never felt like we ever got an adequate explanation for why it happened. And then regarding the main villain, it's a character who was introduced in Season 1, and while the character was very slimy in Season 2, and that was all done very, very well, it did feel like it kind of was inconsistent with how the character was portrayed in Season 1. That's the best I can do without going into detailed spoilers. Because if there's one thing that Vindication is really good at, it's throwing all kinds of twists and turns that really surprise you in a good way. Overall, Vindication has a lot going for it. Excellent characters, great writing, phenomenal acting, expertly woven Christian themes and messages, and tactful tackling of tricky topics. I am so glad that Vindication got a second season, and I really hope it gets a third because, let me tell you, the cliffhanger that they leave this on cannot go unresolved, okay? I mean, in fact, I demand that you go to the link in the description below and fill out the petition to PureFlix. They picked up distribution for Season 2. Tell them to renew the show for Season 3 because this cannot stand. You hear me? You hear me, Jarek? If you're listening, PureFlix people, you hear me. You gotta tell us what happens next. Make Season 3! Whew. Sorry about that. Anyway, I may be late to the party, when am I ever not, but I definitely consider myself to be a Vindy now, and yeah, I cannot recommend the show highly enough. It is definitely worth watching. And with that, I shall once again hang up the hat. Who knows, maybe one day the storyteller will return again. But until then, may God bless you, and may God bless... Oh, seriously. Hold that thought.